What's up, guys? Today I'm doing something that maybe every RPG fan should have to do at some point, right? And that is rank the Final Fantasy games. Now, this is just the mainline games. Tactics is thrown in there, the sequels are in there, but this isn't every spin-off and stuff. That'll be another stream. But with 16 coming up, I feel like we just gotta talk Final Fantasy, right? And this get to know me a bit, and then you guys can put down in the comments. Make sure you tell me what's your list, right? What do you like? Which ones do you love the most? You can grab this. This is just on there. I didn't make this one, right? So you can go on Tier Maker and do your own. Share a screenshot. Whatever you want to do. I'm sure you can tell me down in the comments all the things that you agree with in my list, because I'm gonna be right. All right. Well, that said, let's get on it. So in doing this list, I'm gonna not start over here in the corner because that's lame. We're gonna start in the beginning with 1 and work our way up. Fair? All right. Here we go. All right. Here we go. There's 1. Okay. 1 holds a lot of nostalgia for me. You know, it was the very first RPG I ever played. I didn't finish it in the beginning, right? I came back and finished it years later, but I think I was, I don't know, 6 or something when I first played it and didn't know what I was doing, right? Is it the best game? No, it's not. But it's good. It's good. It's old school. You know, it's the birth of a lot of this genre. Although I know there's games before this, but and so the thing is, I forgot to add a tier. That's okay. We'll get there. The thing is it probably should be here, honestly. But I'm gonna put it there. And I know that is clearly nostalgia talking, and that's okay. It just is what it is. It's an 8 for me. And before I move on, I'm gonna go ahead and add, let's add a row below. Okay. And the new one, trash. No. We want this one to be, haven't played. We want this to be trash. Really, D tier's trash anyway, right? Let's call it what it is. I think the rest of them are fine, though. We'll leave them the same. All right, so there. 1 is an A for me. It really, honestly, mechanically probably deserves to be in this area, but I'm putting it in. All right, let's move on. All right, I got number 2. Here we go. Okay, I've heard a lot of love for 2 recently, which is really cool. But here's the thing: if you ever actually played 2, I don't know why. Maybe I don't know. I'll have to replay it. I haven't played it in a long time, but I think 2's awful. It was terrible, and so it goes straight in the trash tier for me. Maybe the remaster does a lot for it. I have started at 6 on the Pixel remaster. I will eventually work my way through the rest of them, but I haven't gotten there yet. And unless 2 did something magic, I don't know. It was awful. 3 was a little bit better. I didn't think it was great though. Now, to be fair, this one's similar in that I haven't played it in a long time, but I think it's probably a C tier for me. Now, again, the Pixel remaster can totally change that, but at least for now, it's not. Gotta get my cup of Joe, you know. All right, there we go. What's next? We got 4. 4. Here we go. 4. 4 is one of the most nostalgic on this list for me. Okay, so I said 1 was my very first RPG ever. Well, 4 is what really got me into it. Right, I actually played 2 and 3 after 4. I mean, if you grew up in America like I did, this came out as 2 initially, right? But I just loved it. I attached to the characters. Rydia, to this day, is one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters ever. I loved Cecil. I loved Kane. I loved the story. It's just such a great game. And for me, it's an A tier. In borderline S tier, it's hard for me to put games that didn't have a lot different mechanically and stuff. And S tier, oh man, I don't know. It kind of belongs there though. You know what? F it. I'm putting it in S tier. Yep, S tier. Loved 4, man. So good. Story so good. Characters are great. Oh man, what a good game. Loved it. Okay, now I'm gonna try to remember to do these as we go. I might forget and we'll have to come back, but that's okay. And that is, okay, hold on. All right. Okay. And that is for the After Years. Okay. This I think came out 3DS, right? And it's like they have the 3D version of 4, and then they do the After Years. That was a bad move. I don't like it. Maybe some of you played and like it, and I hope that there's someone who does. But that 3D, it was awful, and the After Years is trash. And I was so bummed out that it was trash, but it was trash. It was bad. I'll move on because I'm gonna get sad. 5, okay, all right. 5 to me, it was better than 2 or 3. It is nowhere near the nostalgia of 1 or 4. I liked a lot of the things they did in the game. I could see it getting moved up to maybe like A tier or something for me, like after playing the Pixel Remaster. But from my memory, I'm gonna throw it right there in the B. I think that's where it belongs. Let me know if you've played it recently. What do you think? All right, right after that comes 6. Now 6 goes right up here. 6 is one of the best Final Fantasy games to date. I'm playing that Pixel Remaster right now, and it still hits freaking hard, man. That opening alone with Terra's theme playing, you're just like, oh man, hit me right in the feels. Like, oh, characters are so good, the story's so good. I love 6. It's not my favorite personally, but it's one of them, and it is amazing. It's such a good game. I mean, back then, you know, you think of all the different mechanics they added in there, right? Like saving and Gao and all of these different. You know, it's one thing when you just have different moves per person, but when you have to have different inputs and stuff, it was really big back then. Like the difference they kind of made in that, it was tremendous, and the story is just so good. All right, next up is the fan favorite 7, right? This thing's getting a little samey here for me. So 7 is not my favorite either. I like it. I love it. Love the characters. It's not my personal favorite, but I do still have a lot of nostalgia for it. I have a lot of love for it, and I think it belongs right up here. Yeah, it does. I mean, what else can you say about 7, right? I mean, the materia system was spot on. The characters were great. I mean, that 3D polygon look doesn't hold up at all, but the like in battle 3D holds up all right, you know. And but the battle system and the story, all of that stuff, I loved all of that. It's a great game. I loved the remake too. That's not on here, but you might have hated the remake. I loved it. Love it, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. So that's right up there. 7 is great. All right, next up is 8, and I think up to this point you might have slightly disagree with some of these, but I don't think you're gonna be. I could be wrong, but I don't think you're gonna be super passionate too much about that. This one though, you probably will be. 8 for me goes right up here, baby. Yeah. Squall is my favorite protagonist ever. I know it's really hard to tell with the picture you got on my profile here, but dude, I think it was something about the time when it came out, right? Just the person I was when I played it and all that. I just connected with this game, and I know a lot of people hate the junction system. I totally get that. If you weren't able to kind of figure it out, and no one was there to kind of tell you how it worked, like it could be confusing. So I get that. And the drawing system, especially before the remaster, you couldn't speed up, and so it'd be slow and monotonous, I suppose. But there's just stuff about that I love, like the grinding in that game. You draw, you beat everyone up till you get just the enemy you want, and draw until you have all the magic you want. Playing the card game. Triple Triad is like the best in-game card game ever. I love that game, and I know like that's kind of popular now, which is weird. Nobody knew what that was when I was a kid playing this game, but that's okay. I mean, great. I'm glad that it's popular. But see the point of it, right? You play Triple Triad, you get all of these cards, and then you would go and change them to magic, and so then all your characters could be equipped with everything because you just played this card game to get all these. Anyway, loved it. One of these days we'll do a video on it maybe, and I can talk all about it and you guys can yell at me. But I love 8. I love it. Squall is one of my favorite characters. I love the romance with him and Renoa. I love the Wedge and Biggs characters in this one. Those are in most Final Fantasies. Like, it's just so good. I loved 8. And that's right up there with my favorites. All right, let's move on. All right, 9. Here's another one. We're gonna keep that kind of yelling at me train going, because here's the deal with 9, right? This is a fan favorite. A lot of people really love 9. Some people will say it's their favorite over 7. In fact, a lot of people do, right? The truth is, for me, I haven't played it. I know. I don't have a good excuse. I know it's on there. I know it's remastered. You can play it on modern consoles, all that. And I keep meaning to. I just haven't yet. Sorry. I know. It's like my RPG card should be revoked or something. I'll get to it eventually. I will. Anyway, all right. Well, let's just keep this rolling, right? I mean, 10 is another one that's a lot of people's favorites, right? A lot of Final Fantasies about which one you played first that connected with you. I have good memories of 10. I actually played it recently on the PS4 remaster, right? The 10 and 10 2. And so here's where I'm at. 1, that laughing scene is not as big a deal as we all thought it was, right? Like, it was supposed to be that way. It's awkward on purpose. So that hit me a little different this time, which was cool. But I hate Tidus. I hate his character. And I know, I'm sorry, but he's awful. And I don't particularly like Yuna either. And I know that's like sacrilege, but I just didn't like him. There's a lot of the game I do like, right? There's a lot about the battle systems, great music, as always, tremendous, right? A lot of, Auron and a lot of others, Lulu and stuff I like. Kimari I thought was dumb though. I don't understand his character. But the Abed and stuff, great. So much of it was great. I just, the main characters can we pull it down. And so, because that's one of the draws of the game, it just gets dragged down for me. And I know you guys are gonna hate me for this, but to me, does it deserve a C? I think it's gotta be B. I don't think I can stomach putting it in C. That doesn't seem right. Too much good about it. But yeah, I can't put it any higher than that. Rough. Sorry guys. All right, next is 10-2. I know there's some lovers of this game, man. Some of you guys love this game. We all know why. Because the reality is, this game is utter trash. Okay, moving on. 11. All right, this one I have not played. An old MMO. I don't really see it ever going back and playing it. 9, I will one day go play it. 11, probably not. I have a good friend who loves this game. Put a lot of time in it, and it sounds great. But the reality is, if I'm ever gonna put any time into a Final Fantasy MMO, it'll be 14, right? So, sorry 11, you will be on my wall of shame for forever. Okay, 12. I played this one recently. My brother played this back on the PS2. I never did. So I didn't play it until the Zodiac Age on the PS4. And here, it's an interesting one for me, right? So with 12, there's some things I really loved about it. there are some things I really didn't. Vaughn is not a great main character. I didn't think he was as bad as people made him out to be, but he's not good. I also didn't think Balthier was as cool as a lot of people said he was, so, you know, maybe I'm just dumb, but, you know, whatever. Ash, though, was really cool. The battle system I thought was fine. I didn't mind the Gambit, but I also didn't love it. So I think that, honestly, the story, too, didn't connect with me, and so for that reason, I gotta put it in C. I know that seems bad, but it just didn't click with me, you know? So, sorry. Okay, 13, where's she at? 13 gets confusing because there's too many of them. Okay. There's a lot of, 13's a very polarizing game, right? A lot of different opinions. So here's the thing. It's a weird one for me. I love Lightning. She's one of the coolest Final Fantasy characters in my opinion, right up there with Cloud and Squall for me. Radiant too. Love those. Love them. She's awesome. Snow and Hope are some of the worst Final Fantasy characters. Bottom of the rung. Awful. So where do you put this? Story was fine. I didn't love it. Didn't hate it. I don't mind all the fallacy, whatever, the C and all that stuff. That was fine. It was a little bit hard to follow, right? If we're honest, but I didn't mind it. But the thing is, it just wasn't very good, in my opinion. There's definitely things I like about it, but it just didn't click with me. So it's gonna go in the C tier. I want to throw it in trash, but there's enough good in there, I just can't. However, that said, 13-2, trash. Lightning Returns, trash. Awful. Dumb games. Okay. Oh, I forgot 12. I told you to do it. I told you I would. It's hard to remember these. Revenant Wings is one I desperately want to play, but I have not. 12 Revenant Wings. If you don't know what that is, that's a 3DS port of the game. Not port, it's a 3DS like after story. And I heard really good things actually, but I've never gotten to play it. So it's in there. Unless it gets ported, I don't know that I ever will. Like, I don't own a 3DS. I'm not gonna go buy one now. They're too expensive. You can't get digital stuff, which is fine. I like physical, but I just don't see it happening. Okay. That's a 13 trilogy. Next up is 14. And I mean, you guys might have picked up on this already. The truth is, I haven't played MMOs, really. I'm used to being in MMOs. They suck too much life. I got off them. So, haven't played. Now that's a bummer, right? Like, I've heard so many good things about 14. I would love to experience this story. And I know you can play it single player, but like it's also like the way it works, right? The hundreds of hours, the paying, the paywall. Like you can do the beginning. They've given a lot of beginning away, but like what is it, $15-20 a month or whatever it was? Like that's a little rich for my blood to play a game. So yeah, I probably won't unless they come out with some kind of single player thing or it becomes free to play or something. But for me, 14 is kind of on the Hall of Shame for me. So, all right. So let's move on though. 15. Okay. Like 13, 15 is pretty polarizing, right? A lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it. I know quite a few people who would say favorite ever. I know a lot of people who would say it's the biggest piece of trash ever. Personally, I actually really enjoyed Noctis. I enjoyed the kind of the brothers, right? The friend group. I love Warp Strike. That's one of my favorite video game moves all time. I love that move. And any move that's like it in other games, right? You play other games and find one that's like it. That's my cup of tea, okay? I love that kind of stuff. The story was fine. There were parts of it I really loved, but it was definitely disjointed, right? Because it wasn't complete to start with. But truth is, for me, I think 15 is gonna actually go in B for me. I don't love the combat except for Warp Strike, but because you can pretty much, if you time right, do Warp Strike over and over and over, right? And then you hang, whatever. It sucks that they didn't do, I didn't like the way they did summons. How big they were was really cool, but how little you got to use them was lame. Magic sucked in this game. It was cool when you got to use it, but I don't know. I think I used magic like 3 or 4 times the whole game. Like, bummer. But I enjoyed enough of it. It's a B tier game for me. And I know that a lot of people are gonna hate that, but you know, whatever. All right, next up, here we go, is the Tactics. Okay, so this is Tactics, Tactics Advanced, and Tactics Advanced 2. Now, these are not sequels, okay? Tactics Advanced is not a sequel to Tactics. I don't care what anybody says. And now the reason I say that is because Tactics Advanced is utter trash. I don't care. If you liked it on your little Game Boy Advance, it was awful. I hated that. And Tactics Advanced 2 ain't no better. Trash. Utter trash. Tactics though, that's stinking S tier. Tactics is my favorite Final Fantasy game. I border sometimes, especially with these guys up here on the S tier, where I'll kind of swap back and forth which one I like more. Sometimes it depends on what I've played the most recently, right? That recency bias will bite you in the butt. Dude, I think Tactics is the one I've beaten the most, right? I think I've beaten Tactics probably 10 times. And if they make a remaster like we've been hearing from the NVIDIA leak, I'm gonna beat it again, and I'm gonna 100% it. I love this game. I will grind it for forever. It's so good. So here's hoping that remaster is coming. Yeah, I love Tactics. But yeah, okay, so guys, there is my Final Fantasy tier maker. I know a lot of people aren't gonna like it, but I got 4, 6, 7, 8, and Tactics in the S tier. 1 is an A tier. I'm gonna stop reading them out. You don't need me to read them out. You can see it here. You watched me do it, right? Anyway, yeah, so that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being a part. Make sure you let me know down in the comments like what your list is, whether you do this list and you know, get a screenshot for me, or you you know, just tell me what your favorite, or you know, tell me how I'm wrong. Whatever. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you didn't think it sucks, go ahead and hit that dislike button, and leave a comment. Tell me about your list. All right. Again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.